Okay. What have we got for a picture?
Nothing yet. Well, good.
Okay.
Good picture.
Good picture so far.
Yes.
All right. Now I want you to unmute that for a minute so I can get a quick check on the audio.
Okay.
And let me know when you
Now?
do. Okay.
Unmute that for a minute so I can get a quick check on the audio.
All right, mute it again, please.
I'm trying to find it. Well, okay, I did.
Looks like we've got pretty good audio.
Yes. Unless
So,
it's too quiet.
Well,
Probably have more
it
volume.
might be a little bit, but I don't want to play with that at this late date.
No.
Because it could, I don't have a lot more room to raise it, and it could tip over into distortion. So
No, that's not.
we'll want to test that before we
Yes.
do anything else. Oh yes, you've got to have your microphone.
You always use this. All right, now I have my microphone right here.
Okay, unmute that for just another quick second. I want to hear the Autoharp too.
Right here.
Okay. All right. That is a cool thing you discovered. I really, really...
Oh, Amber. Amber Harris, hello.
Hey, Amber.
Hey, Amber.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We got on early this time, I want you to know. We were sitting around waiting.
That's right.
No frantic running around at the last minute for us, no.
No.
We're semi-professionals now.
Indeed. Okay.
It's because of the hat. Without the hat, it probably would have all gone wrong.
Well, that's right. You know, sometimes it takes a thing like that.
It doesn't take a village, it takes a hat.
It takes a hat.
Yeah, let's move that mic over there like that. Unmute me again.
Okay. We've discovered a mute thing. We can mute and unmute so we can listen. Okay. I sound good. Mute thing we can Amber says coming through great for me. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's so far so good. I'm knocking on wood.
Yes.
I have some right here in my
right
lap.
there.
So we will see what happens here.
The time is 12:53 p.m.
Here's where you're supposed to play an overture or something, see?
Oh,
You know,
an overture.
overture is when people are coming into the, hey, Benji joined us. Charles
Benji?
Benjamin Harris, yes.
Glad you could make it.
Yes.
We actually got on early. Hopefully we'll have a better time than we did last Sunday. In our new location, new set, new everything. Even a new Autoharp. This isn't the same Autoharp we've been using either.
That's right. And a new hat.
I will explain all of that when we actually start up here.
Benji says, I'm here, sounds good.
All right.
Appreciate that. Okay.
Murdering William Tell. The William Tell overture.
Well, see, it's an overture, right?
Yep, that's right. Yes, indeed. I used to be able to play that pretty well, but that was 30 years ago. I haven't practiced it since.
I was going to say, not bad. Need to do a blues show with that hat, Benji said. That would be great. There you go. Lavonda has joined us.
Hey,
I
Lavonda.
am here. Finally was able to get on, she said.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
That's terrific. I have a song that I've been practicing up just for you. We've had a heck of a time getting this particular show on the road. On the 19th of May, we tried it and we couldn't get a stream connected. And last week we were on for about 25 minutes, and then the computer locked up, and so did a couple of our viewers' phones. So we changed a lot of things, and hopefully it's fixed. At least I hope it's fixed. Anyway,
Yes,
welcome in, Lavonda.
yes, welcome.
Glad you could come.
The time is 12:58 p.m.
And anybody else who might be out there. I guess we find out when they join, don't we?
Yes.
You can't lurk on Facebook. Okay. We shall begin momentarily here.
Prime the pump there. Hey, we have a comment, Lavonda. Great, can't wait to hear it.
Okay.
The time is 12:59 p.m.
Well, we might as well get started.
Well, we want to play that one for Lavonda.
Well,
So.
yeah, I've
You
got
already did.
something else planned, so just
Oh,
bear
terribly.
with me here.
Yes, sir. Aye, Captain.
I'm going to kind of do a little explanation here for people who might come in later or watch this at a later date. My name's George McCoy, and I am joined by my lovely and talented wife, Linda, who is handling the comments and working the computers and doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff, without which this wouldn't be nearly as much fun.
Why, thank you.
And this funny looking thing on my lap is called an autoharp. And people of my generation used to see these all the time in music rooms at school and Sunday school classrooms and things like that. You don't see them so much anymore. You can play it on your lap. You can also put it up on your shoulder, which I can't really do right now because I have a microphone in the way. Most people these days play it up on their shoulder, but when I learned to play, I didn't know that, so I learned to play on my lap. And the autoharp is a pretty cool instrument because it's very easy to play in a lot of ways. So you can get music or something and strum chords and play simple songs like this. Stumbling out of Kelly's bar, wonder where I put my car. Okay. Easy stuff like that. But I didn't know that, and I started out that way sort of, but you can also pick it and play melodies and harmonies and things on it, which you will hear very shortly. Today's show is the fourth in our series of Autoharp Live broadcasts, and this one is kind of a departure from what we usually do, because I usually just clown around and try to make people laugh and sing funny songs and things like that. But in response to a fair number of requests, today's theme is Songs of the Sea. And it's all about the ocean and the Great Lakes and ships and shipwrecks and fishermen and all those kinds of things. And we'll get to that in just a minute, but my younger sister, Lavonda, is with us, and she had a request at the last show for a song called Lizzie Borden that was done by the Chad Mitchell Trio back in 1963. And I sort of did it, but I practiced it up, and here's the whole version, Lavonda, just for you.
I have Becky Sims with us, and Barbara Thomas Harris is watching. She
Hey,
says,
guys.
I'm watching.
Barbara,
Welcome.
Beck. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you could join us. So here you go, Lavonda. Lizzie Borden took an axe. That's a heck of a way to start a show, isn't it? Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her father 40 whacks. And when the job was nicely done, she gave her mother 41. Yesterday in Old Fall River, Mr. Andrew Borden died, and they got his daughter Lizzie on a charge of homicide. Some folks say she didn't do it, and others say of course she did, but they all agree Miss Lizzie B was a problem kind of kid. 'Cause you can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts, not even if his plan is a surprise. Surprise! No, you can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. You know how neighbors love to criticize. Well, she got him on the silverware, he'd gone to take a snooze, and I hope he went to heaven 'cause he wasn't wearing shoes. Lizzie kinda rearranged him with a hatchet, so they say. Then she got her mother in that same old-fashioned way. But you can't chop your mama up in Massachusetts, not even if you're tired of her cuisine. No, you can't chop your mama up in Massachusetts, but no, it's almost sure to cause a scene. Well, they really kept her hopping on that busy afternoon, with both down and upstairs chopping while she hummed a ragtime tune. They really made her hustle, and when all was said and done, she removed her mother's bustle when she wasn't wearing one. Oh, you can't chop your mama up in Massachusetts and then blame all the damage on the mice, No, you can't chop your up in Massachusetts that handle things very nice. Now it wasn't done for pleasure, and it wasn't done for spite, and it wasn't done because the lady wasn't very bright. She'd always done the slightest thing that Mom and Papa bid. They said, Lizzie, cut it out. So that's exactly what she did. Oh, you can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts and then get dressed and go out for a walk, No, you can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a far cry from New York. No, you can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Shut the door and lock and latch it. Here comes Lizzie with a brand new hatchet. Can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Such a snob, I've heard it said. She met her pa and cut him dead. You can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Jump like a fish, jump like a porpoise, all join hands in habeas corpus. Can't chop your papa up in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is a far cry from New York. There it is. A song just for you. Yolanda, thanks for coming by. And now we get into our topic. In the 1920s, folks were just starting to build big fishing vessels. Before that, they used dories and skiffs, and it was a 1 or 2 man operation. But in the 1920s, they started building fishing schooners. Fish were very plentiful back then, so it was easy to catch a holdful. The thing was, whoever got to the processing plant first got the best price for their catch. So the ships not only had to be big and have big holds and be able to handle the rough seas out on the Grand Banks and everywhere, but they had to be fast so that they could get into port real quick. Yes. Pull the
I gotta run by here real quick. Hang on.
pull the plug out of the back of it.
That's a little detail we forgot there.
I have a voice-activated clock that just decided to join the show.
And it's water.
If you can pull the plug out of the wall down there, that would be best. But if you can't,
I did, and it's still
okay,
on.
now push the screen back.
Voice trigger mode is disabled.
Good. Okay. Anyway, you could easily catch a hold full of fish, but you had to be first back to the processing plant to get the best price. The Canadians built one of these vessels in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, called the Blue Nose. And they called it the Blue Nose because people from Nova Scotia are called Blue Noses. I don't know if it's because it's so cold up there or what, but that's why they're called Blue Noses. This was the fastest of all these ships that caught fish in the 20s and 30s. And in the off season, they'd race them and make money, charging admissions and things like that. And she never lost one of those races in the off season, and she was always first into port until the days of sail went away for good, and people had ships with diesel engines and things that could beat her out. And she was then sold to an outfit that hauled fruit in the Caribbean. She was wrecked on a reef in 1946 off of Haiti. And in 1963, her plans were found. They'd been lost, and they were found, and a bunch of people got together and put up some money, and they built a duplicate, an exact copy of the Blue Nose. And she's still sailing today as a goodwill ambassador for Nova Scotia, and this is a song about that ship. I've got a story to tell of a proud ship that race. She won herself a place in the history of Canada. So blow, winds blow, for the blue nose is sailing once again. To the windward once more, and up to jib and foresail as before. For your country will be proud once again. Another ship and the men who sailed her smartly into victory. So blow, winds blow, for the blue nose is sailing once again. Within Nova Scotia town, by shipwrights who gained world renown, down in Lunenburg they built a living legend, leather skill, sweat and pride. They sailed her masterfully till she died. So blow, winds blow, for the blue nose is sailing once again. For your country will be proud once again. Another ship and the men who sailed her smartly into victory. So blow, winds blow, for the blue nose is sailing once again. Blow, winds blow, for the blue nose is sailing once again. And that's the story of the blue nose.
I have word from Lavonda. She said, that was wonderful. It made me laugh and brought back great memories, talking about Lizzie Borden.
Oh, thanks, Lavonda. And by the way, if anybody has a request, if it's playable on the Autoharp and I don't already know it, I'll learn it and I will play it for you at the top of the show next time around. So,
Amber says she's not sure if it's just her, but the Autoharp is louder, much louder than your voice. Having trouble hearing the words.
All right.
Amber, me too, Becky says.
Okay. Look, go over to the mixer, Lynn.
Yes.
Okay. The bottom of the second column, it would be the second one over on the bottom row, is the voice level.
Yes.
What's it set at?
Looks like 4 o'clock.
Turn it up some. It's not much left. Huh?
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Oh, okay.
The Autoharp is drowning out my voice.
Turn it all the way up. Okay.
All right, well, I didn't say that. I said turn it up a little bit, but there's not much left on it.
That's right. And that's number 2, correct?
The second one, yeah,
Yes.
the level.
Got it.
All right, let's do a little test here.
Is that better?
Somebody comment and let us know.
Yeah. I had my mic on during Blue Nose. I wonder if that had something to do.
It shouldn't have. Well, that might have done something, yeah.
Yeah, I had it on because I got up real quick to go and
Yeah,
fix that, and I didn't notice it was still on. If anyone can let us know if that one sounded better.
No response. Hopefully, we're still streaming.
I believe Wait a minute. Here's Didn't change it at all for me, Becky said.
All right. Put the voice level back where it was.
Okay.
Now, The one just to the left of that is for the Autoharp.
Yes.
Where's it?
230.
All right, put it at about 130. Take it down a whole
Okay.
notch there. Okay.
Okay,
Let's try
that's.
that.
Let's see if this works better.
And
Wait a minute. I got another comment. Lavonda, me either. Becky, Kim's voice is louder than. I think you mean Lynn's voice is louder than George's. Yeah, sorry, Lynn. I have a microphone of my own here, and I had it on during that song, and I don't know if that made a difference. Wait a minute.
where's your mic level set? It's the third one over. Sorry about this, guys.
She said autocorrect. Did that to her. My mic is set at, looks like 12. I'm trying to see which one.
It's the third one on the bottom row. It's in the bottom of the third column, right beside the.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's set at 12.
Okay. Well, be sure to cut your mic when I'm playing.
Yeah, that's what
And,
I'm trying to turn it off like it's off right now.
Yeah. Let's put the Autoharp level at 1 o'clock.
Okay, that's the one that's currently
Okay.
at 12:31 at 1. That's number 1, right?
Yes.
It's now at 1 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Let's try this. I will play the next song in the show, and then you can let us know.
Mic off.
Yes. Turn your mic off.
It is off.
Okay.
Hold up, I got another. Becky. All volume is a little low, though.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah. So we don't know. See, that's the thing. We don't change anything.
We don't change anything, but on Sunday afternoon, everything
Yes,
changes.
it's changed, yeah. What turns the volume up? What did you say? Something.
That's something I'd have to do. I guess, guys, we just kind of have to put up with it like it is. I don't know. I'd have to go into the computer and fix it. Is it really low? Because if it's not listenable, if you guys will give me a minute, I can fix it.
I think there's a delay between when they give
There
the
is.
answer.
There is.
Yeah.
There certainly is. No, you can't get it any closer than it is.
I said that without looking, and I turned around. Really got it as close as you can.
Yeah. Unmute us.
Okay, hang on a minute.
This will cause a little odd effect, guys, but I need to hear what's going on.
It's too quiet.
This will cause a little odd effect, guys.
For us, it's about the same. Let's see what happens.
It is so you can listen. Let's turn that off. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't say to do that.
I'm trying to get an idea of what's going on. First thing I remember knowing was a lonesome whistle blowing. Let's see if I can get an idea. Okay, unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, the voice level is still down. Turn number 2 on the bottom
Amber
row.
says try playing another song.
Yeah.
Do what now, George? Or do you want to do
Turn on the mixer.
Yeah.
Turn number 2 on the bottom row, the bottom of column 2. Max it out. Turn it all the way up.
I did.
All right, we will play another song and see what happens here. This is an old Newfoundland folk song. It's called Eyes to Buy. Eyes to buy that built the boat, and eyes to buy that sails her, and eyes to buy that catches the fish. brings them home to Liza. If your partner's Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton, Tyler, all around the circle. Sods and rinds to cover your plate, cake and tea for supper, codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter. If your partner's Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton, Tyler, all around the circle. I don't want your maggoty fish, they're no good for winter. Well, I can buy as good as that way down in Buena Vista. If your partner's Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton, Tyler, all around the circle. I took Liza to a dance as fast as she could travel, and every step that she could take was up to her knees in gravel. Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border. Old Sam Oliver in the dark, Mister in the corner. If your partner's Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Eyes that bite and builds the boat, eyes that bite and sails her, and eyes that bite and catches the fish and brings them home to Liza. If your partner's Sally DeVoe, if your partner's Sally Brown, Volvo, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle.
Linda Savillard has joined us.
Hey,
and,
Linda.
Amber said you might have to start playing on Saturdays, LOL. And then Lavonda said that is better. Becky said that's a bit better. And then Amber says also it's better, but the Autoharp is still louder. You know how before it sounded like we were in the room together. Now you sound far away again. So weird. It was great yesterday.
I know.
That is weird. It is weird.
It's just plain strange.
I don't know about, there's something about Sunday.
I guess the Lord just don't want us to play on Sunday.
I don't know.
Next time it'll be the gospel hour. How about that?
There you go. We can work with this. We
Try to get right.
Okay.
Let's.
I've got my mic back off.
Okay. Let's turn the Autoharp down. That's the lower. That's number one. The bottom of the first column. What's it set at now?
1.
All right, let's set it to 12.
Okay.
All right.
That's the first one on the
The
bottom.
first, yeah, the one in the lower left corner of the mixer.
Got it.
All right. At 12. Now, bring the slider up just a little bit. The main level. Bring it up just,
Okay.
a little bit. All right. Let's see what that does. All right.
Hang on, I've got the comment. Becky says, I like that song, and Lavonda said, I like that song too. And Becky said, makes me want to travel. Yes, it does.
Well, you guys, if you like that one, you're going to love some of the ones that come up later, provided the streaming gods will permit. Because we've got several other Newfie songs lined up for you here. The next song is called The Last Sea Shanty, or A Sailor Ain't a Sailor, and it's by Tom Lewis. Father often told me when I was just a lad, a sailor's life is very hard, the food is always bad. Now I've joined the Navy, I'm aboard a man of war. Now I found the sailor ain't a sailor anymore. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be a last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. The killick in our mess says that we have got it soft. It wasn't like this in his day when he was up aloft. We love our bunks and sleeping bags, but what's a hammock for? Swinging from the deckhead or lying on the floor. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. They gave us an engine that first went up and down. Then with more technology, the engine went around. We know a steam and diesel, but what's a mainyard for? A stoker ain't a stoker with a shovel anymore. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. They gave us an Aldous lamp so we could do it right. They gave us a radio, we signal day and night. We know our codes and ciphers, but what's a semaphore? A bunting tosser doesn't toss a bunting anymore. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. They gave us a radar to pierce the fog and gloom. Now the masthead lookout sits in a tiny darkened room. We use Loran to navigate and sonar tells how deep. First makes 3 sheets to the wind, the skipper's fast asleep. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. 2 cans of beer a day and that's your bleeding lot. Now we get an extra can because they stopped the top. So climb into your civvies and we'll find a pub ashore. A sailor's still a sailor, just like he was before. Don't haul on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. Just get your civvies ready for another run ashore. A sailor ain't a sailor, ain't a sailor anymore. A couple of things that may need explaining in that. A semaphore was the way ships communicated before they had radio or anything, and it was a system of flags that they'd fly from the mainmast, so that the commodore of the battle fleet or the convoy or whatever could give orders to all the ships. And the people who handled those flags were called bunting tossers. So that's what that was all about. Well, let's see here. What? Yeah. Hopefully we've got something.
Becky said nice, and
Glad you liked it. This song, there are 3 or 4 songs that I know of that have the same title as the song I'm going to sing. But this is the first one that was written back in 1853, or at least the first time I could find it sung was back then. And it's about people who sailed on packet ships. A packet ship carried freight, and some of them also carried passengers. and each shipper's freight was in a separate area of the hold in one or more crates, and that's why they called it a packet ship. Well, the guy who invented this concept decided before the packet ships came along, a skipper would wait till his hold was clear full of cargo before he'd leave. Well, that was great, except that when you shipped something, you couldn't tell the person receiving it exactly when it was going to be there because you didn't know when Skipper was going to get his hold full. So the packet ships were the very first freighters, sailing freighters back in the 1850s that sailed on a schedule. That meant they left harbor on a certain day no matter what, and they tried to arrive on a certain day that they were scheduled to arrive. That meant that they sailed in conditions where a lot of ships would have just stayed in port. This is a song about what it was like to be a sailor on one of those packet ships, and it's called The Banks of Newfound Land. Come on, you bully boys of Liverpool, I'll have you to beware. If you sail in a packet ship, no dungaree jumpers wear. Just have a big monkey jacket all ready to your hand, for there blow some cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. We'll scrape her and we'll scrub her with holy stone and sand, and think of them cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. We had Jack Lynch from Ballad, Mike Murphy and some more. I tell you, well, they suffered like hell on the way to Baltimore. They pawned their gear in Liverpool and sailed as they did stand, and there blow some cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. We'll scrape her and we'll scrub her with holy stone and sand, and think of them cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. The first mate stood on the forecastle head and loudly he did roar. Rattle her in, you lucky lads, we're bound for America's shore. So wipe the blood off the dead man's face and heave to beat the band, for there blows some cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. We'll scrape her and we'll scrub her with holy stone and sand, and think of them cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. So now it's reef me boys with the canvas frozen hard. It's mounds and pass every mother's son on the 90-foot topsail yard. Forget about boots and oilskins, but haul or you'll be damned, for there blow some cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. We'll scrape her and we'll scrub her with holy stone and sand, and think of them cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland. So now we're off the coast, me boys, and the land is white with snow. But tonight we'll see the pay table and we'll have a night below. And down to the docks they come in flocks, the pretty girls they do stand, saying it's snugger with me than it is at sea on the banks of Newfoundland. We'll scrape her and we'll scrub her with holy stone and sand, and think of them cold nor'westers on the banks of Newfoundland.
I have a couple of comments. Amber says she's loving the bits of history, makes her understand and appreciate the songs more. Becky says, "Is George's mic on? It kind of sounds like his voice is being picked up by a mic that's farther away." Amber says she was thinking the same thing, and says the harp and my mic are the same level, but your voice sounds far away.
Check the mic plug in number
Okay.
2, the second one over from the left. Push down on it, make sure it's plugged in. Did it move at all?
Oh, just a slight touch. Is there an on or off switch on the mic?
No, there isn't. Okay.
Oh, okay, I'm going to turn mine off.
I don't know if this is any better or not.
It seems, Lavonda says it seems to come and go. The last part of that song was good. And Becky said she really liked that song.
Okay.
So maybe
Well,
we're
guys,
having a mic issue. But maybe it wasn't all the way in. There was just a little bit where it went down, but not really much.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's connected firmly at this end.
Okay.
I just don't know. I've got it right up against me. I mean, I can't get any closer to it than I am. So,
Well.
sorry, guys. It's Sunday. What can I say? You might be right, Amber.
If there's something wrong with, now I've got mine off. You could slip this mic in where that one is.
Yeah, but then we'd have to make a lot of adjustments.
Oh.
We'd have to set the equalizer and everything. It would take a minute to do that. You know. So, let's see. The next one is a song that was sung by a Canadian folk singer named Stan Rogers. Several of his are in the show today. This one is called The Cliffs of Baccaloo. And this has a lot of sailing terminology in it. It's about some people who are trying to head a northeast gale. That means they want to go northeast, and the wind is blowing out of the northeast, which would make them quite naturally want to go southwest. So they have to turn their sails and kind of sail so that the wind blows them close to the direction they want to go. So they go a little bit to the left of it, or to port, and then after a while they have to tack and go a little bit to the right so that they kind of zigzag and average going northeast. Well, these guys have a problem because they are stuck between an island and a rocky coastline off the shores of Labrador, Canada. And they got to get through there somehow. And this is a song about their trials and tribulations as they did that by Stan Rogers. It's called Cliffs of Baccaloo.
Dan has joined us.
Hey, Dan. I thought you were in the show. We're having our usual Sunday afternoon difficulties.
He said just snuck in for a few minutes.
Oh.
Curtain in about 20 minutes.
All right. Well, break a leg, dude.
Dude, yes.
We were bound home in October from the shores of Labrador, trying to head a strong nor'easter, snow too. But the wind swept down upon us, and the day was dark as night, just before we made the land at Baccaloo. Now we tried to clear the island as we brought her further south, but the winds from out the nor'east stronger blew. Till our lookout soon he shouted, there lay dead ahead, through a snow squall loomed the rocks at Baccaloo. Now it was hard down by the tiller as we struggled with the sheets, trying our best to haul them in a foot or two. With our decks so sharply tilted, we could barely keep our feet as we struggled on the rocks at Baccaloo. How the combers beat her under, and I thought she ne'er would rise. And her main boom, it was bending nigh in two. With our lee rails to that blinding sleet would cut you through and through. But our hearts were beating gladly, for no longer could we gaze down to leeward at the rocks of Baccaloo.
Amber said you and I need to switch mics. LOL. I don't know if I could hold mine closer to you.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Unplug the middle microphone. The one in number 2. Unplug it. You have to pull pretty hard.
I'm sorry, but it isn't in number. This microphone is in number 3.
Pay attention to what I'm saying, not to what you think is going on. There's 3 microphones plugged in.
Yeah.
Pull the middle one out.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. Put your mic in that.
Try to keep this one from falling.
Can you do it?
Well, I just unplugged my mic. You said it's the one in the middle.
The middle is this mic here, Lynn. Yours is on the right. Unplug that one and plug it in the
I wonder if
middle.
we got them mixed up or something.
Okay.
Take this one out that's on the right and plug it in where this one was?
Yeah, in the middle.
Is that, because that would be row 3.
Yeah. Let me up.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm wondering if we just had it plugged in.
No, we're not changed since Saturday. Can you take this?
Yes.
All right. Give us a minute, folks. As usual, we have technical difficulties. I'm stuck. I'm trapped in cables and tables and things. Autoharp mic should be this one. The only way I know to know is to trace the cable.
It is.
All right. Now, give me your.
You're sticking in the middle.
Give me the plug for your mic. I can't help it. I
Take
can't
off
tell.
your belt.
Okay. You just gotta laugh, that's all. We may have to put these volumes back.
I understand.
Now, give me the other mic cable.
This one under it. I have to pick the whole way back up. Okay.
All right. Pull the mic out of that stand over there, the
It
one
is
I
out.
speak into.
Yes.
All right. Take it, pull this cable through out from around behind there, so you can put that mic over on your desk there.
It's hooked into that.
It's not hooked into
Into
anything.
a clip. It is to a clip. It's in a clip.
Oh, it's in a clip. Yes, that's true.
So I'm going to take it out of
Yeah,
you want me to do the fast stuff. Here's
that's right. I want you to go fast.
this one.
Now you need to put your mic in that stand.
Okay. One, two. Okay.
Can you make any more noise?
Okay. I thought you could around that side if you come round over towards the wall.
It should reach because it's a longer cable. It's a 10-foot cable. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I just want to use it.
Okay. Now we need to plug your mic in, and your mic will be live all the time. You can't turn it off.
I wonder if we just don't really need it, you know.
Well,
If it's going to be live anyway, that's going to be a problem. So let's just not use it.
all right.
Then we
Now,
also won't have any sound.
I don't know what these levels are going to be like,
Okay.
and I don't remember where we had them. This one's cranked up. I think this one was around 3 or 4 o'clock, like that. The Autoharp level was close to where it is. That's my best guess.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get back in here. Just a little bit, yeah. Hey, Lulu. Everybody
Dogs
see
are
Lulu?
going to see us.
Dogs want to help too.
Except for Sadie, lazy.
Lazy Sadie is on my bed.
There you go.
Lazy Sadie.
Let's see, is this one the way you want it? Yes.
All right, is this mic turned on?
Well,
I don't know which way is which. You'll have to help me out.
it is not.
Okay.
Yep, that's all. All right,
Now,
check the camera. Make sure, but I think it's okay.
little inside baseball here.
There's music that could go with it.
As we struggle on the rocks of Baccaloo.
I'm thinking, nor'easter, what is it we're trying to do?
We're trying to head a strong nor'easter.
And I'd say that's what we're trying to
And
do.
we struggle with the sheets. That's an interesting term, by the way. It means the ropes that control the sails. Why they call them the sheets, I don't know exactly, but they do. Okay.
Oh, Dan's saying, it happens all the time. I just had 2 mics die here at the riverbank. Had to swap them out and check them before we could let the audience in. Lavonda said, the joys of live shows, LOL.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see, what did Amber say here? Glad you got it sorted out, Uncle Dan. I hope everything else goes smoothly for you. And she says, oh, wow, huge difference.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Amber, nice. And let's see what else here is. Yet another.
It makes me want to hook that other mic up and see what's going on, but I guess you can hear me now okay. I will play another song here shortly as soon as Lynn finishes reading the comments.
Oh, I thought I was, but it's not pulling it all the way down, so. Let me see. Oh, here we go. I got some more. You fixed it. Dan says, gets a little dicey sometimes. I've got 26 channels to manage. It seems like at least one of them has an issue.
That'll teach me to complain.
Okay, so we've got it. Something
Okay.
must have happened with that line.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's the cable. As many times as I've stepped on it and tripped over it and everything, the cable may have deserted us.
We're getting new cables, right?
Yeah, we are.
So we'll be
And if I have to, I'll replace the mic. But we'll maybe do a test after the show before we quit the stream, where we plug it in to that third plug and see if it works in there. That would be very helpful to know. All right, let me do a little bit of mic positioning here because my arm was hitting the cable. And I know now why I put this clip on here,
Yes.
because
To hold the cable back.
the cable is getting in my way. All right, well, we've effected repairs,
Yes.
and we're back underway here.
Yes. Aye.
Now, if I can remember what I'm supposed to do next, the wreck of the Athens Queen?
Yes, indeed.
All right, well, let me have a little
Got
drink
off the
here.
cliffs there.
Yeah, we hauled her off from the rocks of Baccaloo.
There we go.
Now we're going to wreck the Athens Queen. We're just dangerous, that's all. Okay. All right. We were drinking down to Reedy's house when first we heard the blow. It seemed to come from Ripper Rock, so boldly forth we go. And sure enough, a rusty tub could just be barely seen. As her stern was high up in the air, we made out Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. Me boys, I must remind you, there's a bottle left inside. So let us go and have a few and wait until low tide. And if the sea's not claimed her when the glasses are licked clean, we shall then set forth some dories, lads, and see what may be seen on the lovely Athens Queen. Some songs and old tall stories then came out to pass the time, nor could a single bottle keep us all until low tide. And so it was before we left the house we were at sea, and I scarcely can remember how we made the Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. Well, the waves inside me belly were as high as those outside, and though I'm never seasick, I lost dinner overside. 'Twas well there was no crew to save, for we'd a scared 'em green. We could scarcely keep ourselves from falling off the Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. Reedy goes straight down below and comes back with a cow. Hello, I said, now what would you be wanting with that now? You'll never take a cow home in a dory on this sea. Well, me son, he said, I've always fancied fresh cream in me tea. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen. I headed for the galley then, for I was rather dry, and glad I was to get there quick, for what did I espy? Oh, what a shame it would have been for to lose it all at sea, 40 cases of the best Napoleon brandy ever seen from the lovely Athens Queen. I loaded 20 cases, boys, and headed for the shore, unloaded them as quick as that, and then pulled back for more. Smith was pulling for the shore, but he could scarce be seen, under near 200 chickens and a leather couch of green from the lovely Athens Queen. Now here's to all good salvagers, likewise to Ripper Rock, and to Napoleon brandy, of which now we have much stock. We eat a lot of chickens and sit on a house of green, sit on a couch of green, and we wait for Ripper Rock to claim another Athens Queen. Oh, the lovely Athens Queen.
Dan was saying hi to Judy. I did not see where she...
Oh, hello, Judy.
She's a friend.
I'm really sorry we missed you. I'm sure glad you came by.
She says to those who don't know her, she's a longtime friend of Stan and Joan, our folks.
Oh,
And Amber said, hi, Judy, so glad you could join. And we say hi, Judy. And Becky also. Hi, Judy.
absolutely.
Good to see you. Now, also, Amber's wondering, did we bring the Autoharp back up? Because now your voice is going to be maybe overpowering a bit.
All right. bring the auto harp up to about one. That's the very lowest one in the lower left corner.
Got it.
What's it at?
Straight up and down 12. We wanted it.
Bring it about 130. That's where it was before.
That's right. Okay.
All right.
Now maybe we've got that.
Maybe we've got this fixed up here. And I'm glad it was on our end and not the mysterious gods of Sunday. It's like very strange.
Lavonda says we can now hear that wonderful voice.
Thank you.
It's distorting a little on higher, louder notes, but so much better. Do you want me to bring that gain down?
Yeah, bring the main level. Bring the main level down, and let's see if it distorts. Put it back where it was. Okay. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
That's really very helpful.
Now it should be better.
Yes. Well, we hope so anyway.
Here we go. Comment. Dan, gotta go, gang. Very cool, George.
All right.
Thanks again for your help, Dan.
Yes, indeed.
Good to have a master at the
Yeah. I used to be good at audio, but that was
master.
pre-digital. And I don't...
There he says bye, Dan.
Yarmouth Castle?
Yes.
In 1965, August 4th, as my, I believe, on this date. Anyway, in the summer of 1965, a cruise ship called the Yarmouth Castle left Miami for a run to Nassau in the Bahamas. And she did this a lot. It was an overnight run, and then she'd deliver passengers, and then she'd pick up people who'd stayed there 2 or 3 days and bring them back. She was built in the 30s, and the Depression was on at that point. And so they tried to cut costs wherever they could. So the ship, so the first deck above the waterline was made of steel, but then all of the upper decks and cabins and all of that was made of wood. And, of course, wood and salt water don't really get along all that well, so they had to paint it a lot. So it had many, many paints of coat to keep it looking good. And this song is a Gordon Lightfoot tune, and it tells the story of the final voyage of the Yarmouth Castle. Well, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the anchors have been weighed. From Miami to Nassau, she's bound across the waves. She's a-headin' south through Biscayne Bay into the open sea. The Yarmouth Castle, she's a-dyin' and don't know it. For the many years she's been to sea, she's seen the better times. She gives a groan of protest as they cast away her lines. And the grumble of her engines and the rust along her spine tells the castle she's too old to be sailing. But the sands run out within her heart, a tiny spark glows red. Smolders through the evening, there's laughter overhead. Well, the dinner's served and the cards are dealt and the drinks are passed around. And deep within the fire starts burning. Now it's midnight on the open sea and the moon is shining bright. Some people join the party and others say goodnight. Well, there's many who are sleeping now, it's been a busy day. And a tiny wisp of smoke is rising. Oh Lord, she groans, I'm burning, let someone understand. But her silent plea is wasted in the playing of the band. Everybody's dancing on her deck and having such a time. And a voice says, shut up and deal, I'm losing. Deep within the Yarmouth Castle, a fire begins to glow. Leaps into the hallways and climbs and twists and grows. And the paint she wore to keep her young, oh Lord, how well it burns. And soon that old fire is raging. Now beneath the bridge it's climbing fast, the captain stands aloft, calls up to the boatswain, says, boatswain, we're lost. Well, the ragged hoses in the racks, no pressure do they hold, and the people down below will soon be dying. Midships, oh, she's blazing now, it's spreading fore and aft. The people are scrambling as the fire blocks their path. But evil smoke surrounds them and they're falling in their tracks. And the captain in his lifeboat is leaving. Then the ship Bahama Star comes steaming through the night. She sees the castle blazing, and 'tis a terrible sight. Jump down, her captain cries, we'll save you if we can. And the paint on his funnels is a-fryin'. God help the ones asleep below and cannot find the way. Thank God for those we rescue upon this awful day. Well, the heroes, they are many, but the times are growing slim. Now from's turned to bow, she's a-blazing. Well, the Yarmouth Castle's moaning, she's crying like a child. We can hear her if you listen, above the roar so wild. Is she crying for the ones who lie within her molten sides, or crying for herself, I'm a-wondering? But the living soon were rescued, the ones who lived to tell. From the Star they watched her as she died there in the swells. Like a toy ship on a mill pond, she burned all through the night and slipped beneath the waves in the morning. 91 people died that day. And the ironic thing about it, the ship that did the rescue, that saved the other 200-300 people who were on the Yarmouth Castle that day, was grounded a year later because she was built the same way, and they had new safety regulations that forbade a ship like that to sail. So the one who rescued her sealed her own death warrant. I mean, she'd have been grounded anyway, but it's kind of ironic. Okay. Hopefully our audio is back to what it should be and everything. The next song that I'm going to do is another Tom Lewis tune, and it's called Marchin' Inland. Lord Nelson knew the perfect way to cure your mal de mer, and if you'll pay attention, his secret I will share. To any seasick sailor he'd give this advice for free: if you're feeling seasick, sit underneath a tree. I'm marching inland from the shore, Over me shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, then I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. Then I know I'll never go to sea no more. Columbus, he set sail to find out if the world was round. He kept on sailing to the west until he ran aground. He thought he'd found the Indies, but he'd found the USA. I know some navigators who can still do that today. I'm marching inland from the shore. Over me shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, then I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. Then I know I'll never go to sea no more. Drake is in his hammock and 1,000 miles away. Grenville's revenge is at the bottom of the bay. Many's a famous sailor never came home from the sea. Just take my advice, Jack, come and follow me, for I'm marching inland from the shore. Over me shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, then I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. Then I know I'll never go to sea no more. So sailors, take a warning from these men of high renown. When you leave the ocean and it's time to settle down, never cast your anchor less than 90 miles from shore. There'll always be temptation to go off to sea once more. I'm marching inland from the shore. Over me shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing you've got, then I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. Then I know I'll never go to sea no more. When it's time to retire. I think my colleague is sketching over there.
Nope.
Oh, aren't you? I thought I heard a pen or something.
Yeah, marking things.
Oh, I see. Okay. The next one is a song that was featured in a movie in 1954 called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was the first movie adaptation that I know of Jules Verne's novel. And I want to say Kirk Douglas starred in it. But anyway, this song is called A Whale of a Tale. Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, whale of a tale or two, about flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. Whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo. There was Mermaid Minnie, met her down in Madagascar. She would kiss me any time that I would ask her. Then one evening her flame of love blew out. Blow me down and pick me up, she dropped me for a trout. A whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two, about flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo. There was Typhoon Tessie, met her on the coast of Java. When we kissed I bubbled up like molten lava. Then she gave me the fright of my young life. Blow me down and pick me up, she was the captain's wife. A whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two, about flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. Whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo. There was Harpoon Hannah, had a voice that spelled out danger. My heart melted when she whispered, I'm here, stranger. Bought her trinkets no sailor could afford. When I spent my last red cent, she tossed me overboard. A a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two, about flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo. Ah, yes. Tall tales. Okay. This next song is about the smuggling that goes on between the United States and Canada, because certain things have high customs duties if you bring them in to Canada from the United States. This song was done by a group called Great Big Sea, which is a bunch of rowdy, rollicking Newfies whose music I really love, and most of which I cannot play because I'm not good enough. But here is one of them that I can, and it's called French Perfume. 'Tis of a bold young smuggler, from Fortune he did sail. He rode the waves from St. Pierre, and he never saw the jail. He filled her up with contraband, perfume, smokes, and rum, and he hoped the fog was thick enough to make another run. You can still see the sight on a winter's night of his wake in the light of the moon. If the wind turns right and you don't take fright, you can smell that French perfume. But the Mountie boat was waiting as he crawled up Forger Bay, and when they hit the spotlight it was like the light of day. He didn't bring her head round when they told him to heave to. He opened up the engines and he ran for Spanish room. You can still see the sight on a winter's night of his wake in the light of the moon. If the wind turns right and you don't take fright, you can smell that French perfume. They said they heard him laughing with the Mounties closing in, his engine screaming murder and his face set in a grin. The seagull started lifting like an angry banshee choir. He hit the rocks at 50 clicks and the sky lit up with fire. 'Tis of a bold young smuggler, from Fortune he did sail. He rode the waves from St. Pierre and he never saw the jail. But when nights are cold and foggy on the rocks near Spanish Room, you can hear a young man laughing and you smell that French perfume. You can still see the sight on a winter's night of his wake in the light of the moon. If the wind turns right and you don't take fright, you can smell that French perfume. You can smell that French perfume. All right. The next song is another tune done by the Chad Mitchell Trio, a group that our family loved in the 60s. My oldest sister, Sandy, bought all of their albums and was kind enough to share them with everybody. And we played them over and over and over and over again. And they were really my inspiration to play a stringed instrument. I played harmonicas and ocarinas, and I played the saw, and I played all kinds of different things. But I always wanted to be a folk singer. And by the time I discovered the autoharp, the folk music era was long gone. But anyway, this is a song by the Chad Mitchell Trio called The Ballad of the Greenland Whalers. On the 23rd day of the month of June in the year of 54, they signed us weary whaler men to sail for Greenland shore, brave boys, to sail for Greenland shore. Our gallant ship, her sails we set for the icy Greenland ground, and we set, and they said we'd take about a stalwart to a whale before we're 6 months bound, brave boys, before we're 6 months bound. The lookout up in the cross tree stood with a spyglass in his hand. There's a whale, there's a whale, there's a whalefish, she cried, and she blows on every span, brave boys, she blows on every span. The captain stood on the quarter deck with his eye to the icy sea. Overhaul, let your davit tackles fall, put your boats on the water, cried he. Brave boys, put your boats on the water, cried he. Well, the boats got down and the crews aboard, and the whale was full in view. And the boatswain roared, put your backs to the oars and steer where the whalefish blew, brave boys, and steer where the whalefish blew. Well, the harpoon struck and the line played out, and the whale gave a thunder with his tail, and the boat capsized, killing half a dozen men. And we never did catch that whale, brave boys, we never did catch that whale. To lose those men, the captain said, well, it grieves my heart full sore, but we knew to lose another 100-barrel whale. Well, it grieved him 10 times more, brave boys, it grieved him 10 times more. Oh, Greenland is a dreadful place, it's a place that's never green, where there's ice and snow and the whalefishes blow, and the daylight seldom seen, brave boys, the daylight seldom seen.
Lavonda says, sorry, again brought back memories, love it.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. It just happened to fit the song, fit the theme.
I'm not sure which one she was.
She's talking about the Ballad of the Greenland Whalers.
Oh,
That's one of those Chad Mitchell songs that we played over and over and over. What's next? Farewell to Nova Scotia? No, White Squall. Okay. This song is a little bit of a departure. It's a song about the freighters that haul iron ore and goods and commodities all over the Great Lakes. And this is another Stan Rogers tune, and it's called White Squall. Let me get it right here. Now it's just my luck to have the watch with nothing left to do but watch the deadly waters glide as we roll north to the Sioux, and wonder when they'll turn again and pitch us to the rail. and whirl off one more youngster in the gale. The kid was so damn eager, it was all so big and new. We never had to tell him twice or find him work to do. And evenings on the mess deck, he was always first to sing and show us pictures of the girl he'd wed in spring. But I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. Now it's a thing that us old-timers know, in the sultry summer calm, there comes a blow from nowhere, and it goes off like a bomb, and a 15,000-tonner can be thrown upon her beam, while the gale takes all before it with a scream. The kid was on the hatches, lying staring at the sky. From where I stood, I swear I could see tears fall from his eyes. So I hadn't the heart to tell him that he should be on a line, even on a night so warm and fine. But I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. When it struck, he sat up with a start. I roared to him, get down. But for all that he could hear, I could as well not made a sound. So I clung there to the stanchions, and I felt my face go pale as he crawled hand over hand along the rail. I could feel her heeling over with the fury of the blow. I watched the rail go under then, so terrible and slow. Then like some great dog she shook herself and roared upright again. While overside I heard him call my name. But I told that kid 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. So it's just my luck to have the watch with nothing left to do but watch the deadly waters glide as we roll north to the Sioux, and wonder when they'll turn again and pitch us to the rail and whirl off one more youngster in the gale. But I tell these kids 100 times, don't take the lakes for granted. They'll go from calm to 100 knots, so fast they seem enchanted. But tonight some red-eyed Wyerton girl lies staring at the wall, and her lover's gone into a white squall. people who have sailed on sailors, crew members who have crewed on ships in the Atlantic and on the Great Lakes say that the storms and gales on the Great Lakes are worse by orders of magnitude than the ones that they saw in the ocean. And that was just a squall, that came up. So, and now, farewell to Nova Scotia. Yep. Do you think you could slip out and pour me up another half glass of that? Thank you. She's heard me practice these forever. She's probably sick and tired of them by now.
Absolutely not. I love these songs.
This is a song that I don't know. I think it was originally written and played by Ian and Sylvia, a folk group another folk group in the 60s. Back to my roots. The sun was setting in the west. Birds were singing on every tree. All nature seemed inclined for rest, but still there was no rest for me. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? I grieve to leave my native land, grieve to leave my comrades all, and my aged parents whom I always held so dear, and bonny, bonny lass I do adore. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? The drums do beat and the horns do alarm. My captain calls, I must obey. Farewell, farewell, farewell to their Nova Scotia charms, for it's early in the morning, I am far, far away. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on that briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? I have 3 brothers and they are dressed, their arms are folded on their breasts. But a poor simple sailor just like me must be tossed and driven on the dark blue sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I'm far away on that briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me?
Amber says, wow, I had no idea the lakes could be like that. What an intense, heartbreaking song. Indeed. And
Yeah.
Rhonda said, I agree, Amber. And Becky said, wreck of the Edmond Fitzgerald. And that's another one like that.
That's another one like that. The problem is that one, Gordon Lightfoot did that one too. He did the Ballad of the Yarmouth Castle. But it has some chords that I can't even approximate, like minor sevenths and diminished chords and things that I just can't hit.
Beautiful song.
It is. It truly is. I hate to keep running you around,
No problem.
but I need to switch harps.
Okay, that one.
That's not too bad.
You want to stay
I'll give her one more song. This is a different harp, by the way, than the one that I usually play. I'm weird, I guess. I name all my auto harps. My first auto harp I call Atlanta because I bought it in Atlanta in 1982. And my second harp, the one that I usually play when I do these shows, I call Kentucky because she came from an instrument store in Kentucky via eBay. And this auto harp is called China. It's actually the last auto harp I bought. It's my newest one because she was made in China. And I haven't had it long enough to play it. You have to, auto harps they're easy to play, but they're the devil's own to tune. And they react best if you play them and tune them and play them and tune them, and you play them a lot. When you do that, then they stay in tune better. And this one's just now kind of rounding into shape, but I'm hearing some beats on the notes that I don't much care for. Oh well, I guess she'll do for another song or two. Hang in there, old girl. You can do it. Let me wet my whistle here. This song I discovered on an album that I had for years and years, and I don't know how I ever missed it, because I would have put this in my regular rotation. It is done by a man named Lenny Gallant, and it's called Tales of the Phantom Ship. On a night as black as a raven's feather, when thunder cracks like the slap of leather, and the wind blows through the black spruce on the shore, and the waves are pounding on the beaches harder, and the last of the fishermen reach safe harbor, and the wind turns cold, cuts to the core. Out on the wide Northumberland Strait, a ball of fire skips o'er the waves, and those who watch, they can't believe their eyes. There's a burst of flame and a flash of light, and there on the tide is a frightening sight. A tall ship all aflame lights up the sky. Tales of a phantom ship, from truck to keel ablaze. She sails the wide Northumberland Strait, no one knows her name. Tales of the phantom ship, it's the ship of fire, they cry. Hard against the wind she sails, no one can say why. It's said she's a three-masted square rigger, 400 tons or maybe bigger, with fire at every rope and spar and stay. Out of the east, though the wind blows west, she plows through the strait on an unknown quest, cutting through the waves with the strength of a full-force gale. Of why she appears there's none can know. Some say it's nothing but a moonlit glow, but those who've seen her swear they tell no lies. They tell how her bow suddenly drops down, and into the depths of the strait she's bound, and the wind goes wild with wailing, chilling cries. Tales of the phantom ship, from truck to keel ablaze. She sails the wide Northumberland Strait, no one knows her name. Tales of the phantom ship, it's the ship of fire, they cry. Hard against the wind she sails, no one can say why. Some say she's an immigrant ship of old, Highland Scots whose land was stolen, lost at sea while seeking the new land. Or a ghostly American privateer who plundered innocent harbors here, cursed to sail the strait, forever damned. But an old man sang a song to me, 600 Acadian drowned at sea, deported long ago from St. John's Isle. He said they sail the choppy strait, through time and tide they navigate, searching for the means to end their long exile. Tales of the phantom ship, from truck to keel ablaze, she sails the wide Northumberland Strait, no one knows her name. Tales of the phantom ship, it's the ship of fire they cry, hard against the wind she sails, no one can say why. Tales of the phantom ship, from truck to keel ablaze, she sails the wide Northumberland Strait, no one knows her name. She sails the wide Northumberland Strait, when will she sail again? I like that song. It's, of the ones that we're doing today, it's my favorite, for sure. But that's a pretty heavy song.
Yeah.
I think we better lighten up a little bit. I don't know who wrote this song. The first time I heard it was I was listening to a live concert streamed from the Mountain Laurel Autoharp Gathering in Pennsylvania, where a bunch of Autoharp freaks get together and spend 5 days comforting each other because they can finally play with people who appreciate what they do. And this was... Thank you, Amber. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This song was played by a band called Doofus. And they had a lot of instruments, but they featured the Autoharp. And this band has a lot of albums out, but this song is called The Mermaid of Ontario. Oh, the Mermaid of Ontario had a long green stringy hair-o, and a seaweed gown to wear-o, but she had no one to marry-o. And the Mermaid of Ontario loved a big-mouthed bass named Larry-o, who lived in Lake St. Clair-o, underneath the St. Clair Ferry-o. So the Mermaid of Ontario sent a goldfish emissary-o to ask that bass named Larry-o if he'd consent to marry-o. Oh, no, 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 said Larry-o, my life I would not share-o. I'd rather play solitaire-o and read books from the fish library-o. And sit around in my underwear-o. Poor Mermaid of Ontario, it was more than she could bear-o. So she cried for a day, then she swam away with a yuppie little guppy named Gary-o. Now they're a happy pair-o, 'cause he's a millionaire-o. In his yacht 'neath Lake Ontario, they cuddle in a cozy little chair-o and listen to his underwater stereo. And the big-mouthed bass named Larry-o did marry a cow from the dairy-o, and she fed him a poison berry-o, and he wound up in the fish's cemetery-o. And that's the whole scenario. don't know how they found all those ways to rhyme that up, but gotta hand it to whoever put that one together.
Now you got one of my most favorite songs coming
Yeah,
up
this is Lynn's favorite song
of this genre.
of this genre, and it's another.
There's so many.
It's another one from Newfoundland, and it's old, like
It goes way back.
like Eyes to Buy. It's one of those. Lukey's boat is painted green, me boys. Lukey's boat is painted green, the prettiest boat you ever seen. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Lukey's boat's got a fine port cuddy. Aha! Me boys. Lukey's boat's got a fine port cuddy, and every seam is chinked with putty. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. I said, Lukey, me blinds are down. Aha! Me boys. I said, Lukey, me blinds are down. Me wife is dead and underground. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. I said, Lukey, I don't care, me boys. I said, Lukey, I don't care. I'll get me another in the spring of the year. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Lukey's rolling out his grub. Aha! Me boys. Lukey's rolling out his grub. 1 split pea in a 10-pound tub. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Lukey's boat's got high top sails. Aha! Me boys. Lukey's boat's got high top sails. She's been patched with copper nails. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Lukey's boat is painted green. Aha! Me boys. Lukey's boat is painted green, the prettiest boat you ever seen. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day. Aha! Me boys, a riddle-eyed day.
Amber said, "Oh, I love this one. It makes me want to dance." Does me too.
Yeah, Great Big Sea, when they play it, they do a fiddle riff in the middle that you could dance to, but Autoharps, unless they're specially tuned for it, don't play fiddle tunes real well. At least mine don't. So, the next question before the bar is, what do we do with a drunken sailor, I believe. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. This is an old sea shanty. Don't know who originally made it up. I assume he was sober. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? What do we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor, shave his belly with a rusty razor early in the morning. Hee hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Put him in the longboat till he's sober. Put him in the longboat till he's sober. Put him in the longboat till he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in the scuppers with the hawse pipes on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hawse pipes on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hawse pipes on him. Early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him into bed with the captain's daughter. Put him into bed with the captain's daughter. Put him into bed with the captain's daughter. Early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning. Got to explain a couple terms there. The scuppers are basically gutters that go along the sides of the upper deck so that when waves and water washes across the top of the ship, it gets drained through the hawse pipes overboard. So they're going to stick this guy down in there and put these hawse pipes on him and run seawater all over him. I guarantee you it'd probably wake him up. That'll bring him back. What's next?
The Ryans.
Okay. Here is yet another old Newfie standard. It's called The Ryans and the Pitmans. Oh, okay.
We need your Aunt Mary. She sings this song a lot.
Really? Oh, the Drunken Sailor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next time that you guys let me play my Autoharp at one of your gatherings, I'll play it for you if you remind me. This is an old Newfie folk song called The Ryans and the Pitmans. It's got a lot of verses, but I didn't learn them all. I just learned a couple of them here. We'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we seize bottom inside the two sunkers. When straight through the channel to Toslow we'll go. I'm the son of a sea cook, I'm a cook and a trader. I can dance, I can sing, I can reef the main boom. I can handle a jigger, I cuts a fine figure whenever I gets in the boat standing room. We'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we strikes bottom inside the two sunkers. When straight through the channel to Toslow we'll go. Farewell and adieu, all ye young maids of Vallon, O'Darren and Bresk, Foxhall and Bruley. I'm bound for the westward to the wall with the hole in. I can't marry y'all or it's yoky I'll be. We'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we rise. What?
We quit and came back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we seize bottom inside the two sunkers. When straight through the channel to Toslow we'll go. We'll rant and we'll roar like true Newfoundlanders. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we seize bottom inside the two sunkers. When straight through the channel to Toslow we'll go. Well, I hope everybody is still with us.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I haven't had anyone say that they had that happen to them, but it did. It cut out. It was like, what?
Okay. Or maybe it was just a.
And it was telling us to reconnect.
Oh, yeah, that's what we used to get before.
Yeah, but I mean, the
All
picture
right.
stayed steady all that time.
Well, it must have reconnected really quickly.
It did.
I hope. Okay. Let's see. The old Polina?
Yes, in the scene.
Okay. This is another song about a fast ship. In this case, it's a whaler. And again, the deal here is the ship that got to the whaling grounds first. Whaling is no more, and that's a good thing. Nobody in modern day supports it that I know of, anyway. But whoever got to the hunting grounds first got the best chance at a whale, because the whales weren't all stirred up by all the ships hunting them, because they are very intelligent. And this song is about a whaling ship called the Old Polina, who always got to the Arctic first. There's a noble fleet of whalers a-sailing from Dundee, manned by British sailors who take them o'er the sea. On a westward ocean passage we started on a trip. We flew along just like a song in a gallant whaling ship. On the second Sunday morning, right after leaving port, we met a heavy sou'west gale that washed away our boat. It washed away our quarterdeck, our stanchions just as well, and so we set the whole shebang a-floating in the gale. When the wind is on her quarter and the engine's working free, there's not another whaler that sails the Arctic Sea can beat the Old Polina. You need not try me, sons. We've challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. Our jackman set his canvas, fair weather gallop steam, and Captain Guy, the daring by, went plunging through the stream. Mullins in the Husky tried to beat the bloody lot, but to beat the Old Polina buys was something he could not. When the wind is on her quarter and the engine's working free, there's not another whaler that sails the Arctic Sea can beat the Old Polina. You need not try me, sons. We've challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. There's the noble Terra Nova, a model there's no doubt. The Arctic and Aurora they talk so much about. And the Jackman's model mailboat, the terror of the seas, tried to beat the Old Polina from a passage from Dundee. When the wind is on her quarter and the engine's working free, there's not another whaler that sails the Arctic Sea can beat the Old Polina. You need not try me, sons. We've challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. So now we're back in old St. John's, where rum is very cheap. We drink a health to Captain Guy, who brought us o'er the deep. A health to all our girlfriends and to our wives so fair. Not another ship could make the trip, the Polina, I declare. When the wind is on her quarter and the engine's working free, there's not another whaler that sails the Arctic Sea can beat the Old Polina. You need not try me, sons. We've challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. We've challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's.
Becky said, I'm here. So when we were talking about having lost somebody, she said she's here. Then Lavonda said something happened to my screen. Something happened and my screen is frozen. I love seeing and hearing you. Until next time. And then Amber said it was great to see you too. And
Goodbye, Lavonda.
so,
Uh,
wondering if it's Sunday afternoon that has.
I don't know. I don't get it, but let's finish up here.
Yeah,
We've got 2 to go.
yeah, Barrett's.
That was a ship that was kind of a hybrid. For a while, they didn't quite trust steam engines, so they built ships that had sails, not maybe as many as the schooners and clipper ships, and an engine. And that's what the Polina was, just so you wouldn't get confused. The next song is by Stan Rogers again, and it's called Barrett's Privateers. Now, a privateer was a ship that was owned by an individual. It wasn't part of anybody's navy or anything. And they received a letter of marque from a king saying, the owner of this ship is a loyal subject and we're at war with these guys, so I authorize him to plunder them, and he's going to give me a share of the treasure, and we're going to divide up the ships he captures and everything else. Now, if he gets caught, he's not part of my navy and I don't know him. Kind of like Phelps in Mission Impossible. And this song is about a not really the best example of one of those ships, and it's called Barrett's Privateers. Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now, when a letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. All sit Barrett, cried the town, how I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. For 20 brave men, all fishermen, who would make for him the Antelope's crew. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, the Antelope sloop was a sickening sight. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She'd a list to the port and her sails in rags, and the cook in the scuppers with the staggers and jags. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the King's birthday we put to sea. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We were 91 days to Montego Bay, pumping like madmen all the way. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the 96th day we sailed again. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. When a bloody great Yankee hove in sight, with our cracked 4-pounders we made to fight. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Well, the Yankee lay hauled down with gold. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She was broad and fat and loose in stays, but the catcher took the antelope 2 whole days. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. At length we lay 2 cables away. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Our cracked 4-pounders made an awful din, but with 1 fat ball the Yanks stove us in. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, the antelope shook and lay on her side. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs, and the main truck carried off both me legs. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Now here I lay in me 23rd year. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. It's been 6 years since we sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. 4-pounders were cannon. They were guns. And the main truck, you heard that term once before in Tales of the Phantom Ship, from truck to keel. Sails on a sailing ship are rigged on a piece of wood called they call it the main boom, the main truck, and it's what's attached to the main mast, so they can get the sails out away from the main mast so they can catch the wind. And that's what the main truck was, and when the ship capsized, it came down and took our storyteller's legs away, unfortunately. All right. Well, it's just about time to pull into port and cast anchor and tie up for this voyage. But here's a final song, and it's called If Old Boats Could Talk. Out from the shore where the land meets the sea, rocks are piled up where the wharves used to be. Some still in their cradles, defying the waves, preserve a creation that our forefathers made. Up on the beach there's an old fishing boat. It's been quite a while since that skiff was afloat. Aged by the weather and bleached by the sun, her work days are over and the long rest begun. And if old boats could talk, what a tale they would tell of the brothers, the sons, and the fathers, carved into time with a tear for each line, shed by wives and mothers and daughters of the brave men who sailed on the waters. There's a broken propeller and a flywheel nearby, wedged in the waves by the wind and the tides. And an old yellow dory's washed up on the shore. She never will sail these blue waters no more. And if old boats could talk, what a tale they would tell of the brothers and sons and the fathers, carved into time with a tear for each line, shed by wives and mothers and daughters of the brave men who sailed on the waters. Relics collected from the people around fill the Bayside Museum in our sleepy town. There's pictures and posters of all things afloat, from big ocean freighters to small fishing boats. And if old boats could talk, what a tale they would tell of the brothers, the sons, and the fathers, carved into time with a tear for each line, shed by wives and mothers and daughters of the brave men who sailed on the waters. And if old boats could talk, what a tale they would tell of the brothers, the sons, and the fathers, carved into time with a tear for each line, shed by wives and mothers and daughters of the brave men who sail on the waters, of the brave men who sail on the waters, of those brave men who sail on the waters.
Like you said, I love all the history, and that's been very good to have there, I think.
Yeah, you're not the only person who said that.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this one. I was a little dubious about it because it's really not in my wheelhouse.
There you go.
But other than the mic failure, I think it went pretty well. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I certainly did.
Amber said, I sure have enjoyed this trip on the seas. Can't wait for the next show. And said, y'all have a good afternoon. She said.
Yes, and you too. Hope to see you real soon. And to everybody else, Judy, if you're still here, thanks a lot for coming by. If you'll follow this page, you'll be, I post here whenever I'm going to do a show. I don't post a lot here because I don't want to clutter people's feeds. But this page, the Autoharp Down Home page, is dedicated to these shows. And I've left a couple of our test sessions up. I don't know how long I'll leave them up, but if you want more, there's one called the All Request Test, and then there's one called Just Playing Around that are up that you can listen to if you want to. And as I always say, if you know somebody who might like my kind of humor, which is mostly what I do, or who might be interested in the autoharp, or maybe a lonely, orphaned autoharp player out there who could use a kindred spirit, tell them about it. And, share the page with them and help them follow the page. We'd love to have new visitors to us and everything.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Beck. Always glad to play for everybody. We have indeed, and thank you for coming by, and congratulations on your retirement, by the way. I hope you're enjoying it. It'll take you a little while to decompress. At least I know it did me. But branch out and do all the things you were gonna do and couldn't do before. All right, guys. Have a great Sunday and a good week next week. And thanks for joining us.